Hello, Gabe Heller here, Jihoan Learn on YouTube and How to Brown Couch on Twitch, and it's time for another unboxing or unpackaging. Let's see what's in here. I have a guess. I'm not 100% sure. Looks like finally one that we can just unpeel. I don't need to destroy it with a knife. I might could use this again. Maybe. I spoke too soon. Come on. Open. Says me. Ha! Okay, what is this thing? It is a bag. A bag inside a bag. This bag needs to be torn open. Doesn't like to tear though. Oh, there we go. Okay. Aha! This is an IDE to SD card adapter. Let's find an SD card. This is a camera I bought probably 20 years ago now. I think it's the only thing I have that uses SD cards. I haven't used it in a long time. No idea what's on this SD card. There we go. It's an SD card. My cat's here. You probably can't see him. Maybe you can see him. He has to smell everything, I guess. Okay, it's the right size. Which way does it go in? There's no documentation for this. There we go. Okay. Ta-da. It's a 16 megabyte card. Not very big, but for testing purposes it should work. Okay, so now we need a way to hook this up to my laptop. I have this, which I got. Actually, there's a bunch of stuff in here. This is the thing. There we go. But I'm still going to need something to power it with. I probably have an adapter, actually, now that I think of it. Let me just see if I can find that adapter. There we go. So if I can get a Molex to, I forget what these are called, adapter, and I can power the thing, hook it up to my laptop, pull everything off this card, any photos or anything that I might have had, and then reformat it and use it for other purposes. Be back in a moment. Aha! I found one! That is correct, isn't it? These were always kind of hard to plug in, though, weren't they? Yeah, that's where the hook is. So why doesn't it go in? There we go. Okay. We're all set up. It's kind of hilarious that it needs this much power, but that's just the way this adapter is set up for running, full-size IDE hard drives. So I'll take this and hook this up to my laptop and see if I can get any files off of it, see if it seems to work. I'll be back in a moment. Okay. It all worked fine. It understood the file system and everything, but just in case, I didn't just copy the files off, which were some old photos. I might put them up in the video now for fun. Photos of this cat, some of them. Yeah, but it all worked fine. So now I have a disk, a drive that is functionally blank. I made an image of it, so I can just spit that image right back onto it. It took 20 seconds. So, should be relatively fast. And yeah, now let's try hooking it up to something that needs a drive and see how that goes. Remember this? Yeah, it has an IDE connector inside, though it's a bit of a weird one. I'm not sure that we'll be able to connect it directly to this, but we'll see. There's a screw there. Let's see if we can screw it with a knife. Nope, we're going to need a screwdriver for this one. I believe that's the only screw you need to unscrew. There we go. I think. Yeah, there we go. Let's have a quick look at the inside of it now that we've got it open. It has an AMD Geode chipset processor. I think that must be the processor. No heatsink on it. There's a heatsink on something here, so maybe that is the chipset. It has an SST49LF160C. Don't know what that is. That's what looks like a speaker on it. Has some laptop looking memory. I wonder if that's expandable. It looks like there are two sides to that memory module, so maybe you could get one that actually has chips on both sides. This appears to just have chips underneath, and I'm not going to take it out now. It looks like I could just push these springs and see what's under here, but then I might have to change the thermal paste, so I'm not going to do that. It also has, from RMC, whose logo is a lobster, an RTL 8100CL, 85A 52Q2, L910 from Taiwan. Oh, and there's another crab chip over here, an ALC 655. Never seen anything like it. Let's first see what this does. This also has a miniature sight on it. Doesn't have a key. One of the pins should be missing, but none of these pins are missing, so this is not going to plug in. And even if it did, yeah, it is in fact 2 pins too short. So this is a 44-pin connector. I wonder if I can find a pin out for that. If I could find a pin out for it, would these connect? Or are they too big? I fit them next to each other? I don't think so. I think these are in fact, no, maybe not. Can I plug 3 of them in at once? No, they're way too wide. Okay, so this cable is not going to help me. I feel like I had an adapter. I bought one at some point. I'll see if I can find it. Okay, so I found this. It's a box of all kinds of random adapters. Let's put serial adapters there. Monitor adapters there. Guess that's serial. Network. Firewire. Monitor. Monitor. Ooh. What's this? Is that going to work? That might work. Is it missing a pin? No, it's not. Okay. But how do we know which way it goes? Well, the notch is on that side, so we'll make sure that the notch on the 40-pin connector is on this side. Right? And this is, yep, that's a 40-pin connector, all right. Okay. Will this fit in here? I think it did. Did it? Maybe it didn't go all the way in. Okay, I think that's in. What does it do with the power? I guess it just doesn't do anything with the power. It's just annoying. That means I'll have to power this some other way, and I don't see any power connectors on here. So I guess this comes back. Yeah. Kind of a reason I haven't taken anything out of this in forever. I'd figured out a way to fit it all in here once. Well, hello again, cat. Okay, cool. Okay, here I have a box full of ribbon cables. Oh dear. That's a double one. I don't think I need something quite that fancy. Is this the right width? Okay, so this, I guess, is an IDE cable. The thing was on top. Okay. This one also doesn't have a key on it. Okay, so the key was on that side. This side here. So I guess we'll put the marked cable to the right when the key is to the top. Oop, what's going on? Oh yeah, this was bent just a tiny bit. Ooh, hopefully it's not now bent even more. Oh, this doesn't have a hole, so it should go on. Hi, cat. Maybe I should take this back off again and put it on once I've attached the cable. I don't want to destroy anything here. Okay. Attaching cable. There we go. So, with the key this way, marked cable is on the right. Ta-da! And then this goes back in here. Marked cable is on the right. Come on. There we go. Okay, I think that is all hooked up. Let's see what happens when we boot the thing. Okay, so I think we've got everything hooked up here. We have got the device with an IDE cable going to the CF card IDE adapter. We've got power going to that. The power is switched on, and we've got a monitor and a keyboard and power to this, and yeah, that's all the Windows 98 USB boot drive. So let's see what happens. I better be ready to hit F8 real fast. It doesn't load Windows 98 very fast. Okay. Command prompt only. So the question is, oh, that's right, this doesn't like 30 lines, so let's fix that. There we go. Okay, so C drive is working fine. Does this show up as a D drive? No, it does not. E, F, no. Can we run F disk? Sure, yes. And it just dumps us back at the C prompt. Well, that's not good. Maybe we can get it to try and boot off of this? Let's try disconnecting that boot drive. Obviously it will fail, but we might get some error message that'll tell us what's going on. Nope, it's booting into the installed operating system. Maybe if we go into the BIOS? That's right, Control-Delete doesn't work in this operating system. Okay, here we are in the BIOS. Password is fireport with a capital F. What if we set it to boot to IDE first? Let's try this as is. There is a jumper on here, don't know what it does. Yeah, no, it doesn't like it. Doesn't like it at all. Well, I've tried everything I could think of to try. I even tried hooking up a CD drive in case it didn't like hard drives. I hooked up like half a dozen hard drives. I've tried several different drive cables. I've hooked them up to this. I've hooked them up to drives. I've hooked them up to all kinds of things. Cannot get it to boot off the IDE. Cannot even get it to recognize an IDE. Cannot get it to boot in Windows 98, recognizing an IDE. And if I run F-Disk, it always crashes. So, yeah. So I'm back. It's the next day, and I realized something as I was not being able to sleep overnight. If you look at this thing, it does actually have pin number 1 marked on it. Right there. And pin number 1 is also marked on this. And it's on this end. Which means I have this plugged in backwards. It also means that speaker's in the way. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to hook this up. We'll see what happens when I try. Well, it's at a little bit of an angle, but it clicked into place, so we'll give it a try and see what happens. I'm going to make the marked edge of the ribbon cable pin 1, since this one doesn't have a key. There we go. It wrinkled a bit there, wobbled a bit. And so the key is on this side, so that means the mark is to the right. Right, okay, when the key is on that side. So mark to the right, key on that side. There we go. That should be correct. Let's get everything hooked up again. Okay, here we are. Let's see what happens when we turn it on. I've got to be ready to press F8 right away so it doesn't try and boot into Windows. If we go to Safe Mode command prompt, then it won't load. Yeah, the startup file, so we don't need to worry about got it rolling. Let's see if we have a D drive. We totally do. There it is. And there are the files that were on it. Now I've copied all of those off, so we don't need to worry about it. Let's see if we can format it as a boot drive. Format. D:/S. Let's try that. All data on non-removable disk D will be lost. Proceed with format? Yes. Oh, the light's on. That was very fast. Alrighty. Enter for, well, let's call this Viking. That's the brand of memory that it is. Alrighty. It seems to say that it's there. There's the drive. Now let's see if we can get it to boot from it. Okay. So, Control-Alt-Delete to reboot. That's not very good. I may not be able to boot off of it. Of course, I haven't tried everything I can think of yet, so give me a moment to do that, and we'll see if I can get it working. Well, it's trying to boot Windows XP off of this old hard drive, and it got this far, so I know it's possible. It might just be something to do with the way this card works, that you can't boot off of it. I don't know how far it'll get, because obviously this is not the system that this was installed for. I think I still hear the hard drive running, though. I didn't think this was going to work, so I didn't get here in time to capture the loading bar. But actually, it probably shouldn't hurt to just restart it and try again. Control-Delete does not work with Windows XP, apparently. Neither does this button. There we go. I can feel the hard drive running in my hand. Aha! Let's try booting in safe mode. You can see that it's doing stuff. So it is definitely possible to boot off of an IDE drive, but as far as I can tell, not one of these. Okay, so I'm back to booting off of a CD because that counts as a floppy disk. And we'll see if this works. It spun up. Yes. I'm going to boot from the CD-ROM. Start the computer without CD-ROM support. Okay, so you'll see we're on drive A now. I was trying to run fdisk from drive C, and it wouldn't let me set an active partition on this, and I'm thinking that's what's wrong. So hopefully, if I'm running from what it thinks is a floppy drive, it will allow me to set the partition active, and maybe then it will boot from here. So let's see what we can do. Set active partition. Yes, partition 1. It's active. Okay.
I must restart my system for the changes to take effect, and I must reformat it then. Okay, so escape to exit F disk. We will reboot. CD-ROM. Start the computer without CD-ROM support. So let's see what's going on here. Format C:/S. We don't have format on here. I didn't think to put format on here, huh? No, it's not there. Okay, well, I guess that means we try booting from the jump drive again. And now that we've marked the partition active, maybe it will stay active? Fingers crossed. It won't just say, oh, this is not the main disk. I must deactivate this partition because blah, 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 blah. Command prompt only? No. Safe mode command prompt only. There we go. Okay. So now it should be drive D. Invalid media type. Excellent. Okay. So we format drive D with the system. Yes. Invite key. Alrighty. Now let's try booting without this. Let's see if it finally works. This looks very much like what it did before. So I guess it wasn't the active partition problem, though I can go back and maybe set it to the active. We'll try one last time here. If this doesn't work, I don't know. I don't know how you get it to boot off of a compact flash card.
Just to let you know, this video is over soon. So rub your eyes and stretch your thighs and sing in tune. It's time to find another kind of video, for this one is nearly done, you know.
Oh, there we go. CD-ROM. Active partition. It's set to active. So I don't know why it wouldn't boot if it could. Something's wrong with this card. I don't know if I got a cheap one, a bad one, or if there's just something not quite right about how it's formatted or partitioned or whatever. But I did it all the way I think it should be done, and it is not booting. Of course, you can obviously boot from a jump drive and then use this as your main drive if you want. And install Windows on it and just boot Windows off of it, although I don't think Windows would fit on a 16 megabyte drive. Obviously, you can have a bigger one than that. Yeah, that's all I can think of to try for today. So, bye for now.